All right, I want to welcome on my next guest. We got recurring guest and actually the 100th guest of Upon Further Review podcast. Might be a trophy in the mail. I got to find a trophy, T-shirt, or some sort of maybe like a nice pen. So the Lofa Tatupu, Seahawks legend, host of the Seahawks Believe in Seahawks podcast and the Believe Podcast Network. Lofa has everything going for you.
I can't complain, brother. I'm looking forward to this matchup between our
Yeah.
teams.
Because honestly, from the outset, when they first announced the schedule, I'm really looking at it like loss. This is for one, in terms of a Washington's perspective, loss, Pittsburgh, loss, Seattle, loss. Now, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
They're winning.
Right? And
I didn't see this coming.
They're winning with defense, and that bodes well for, potential playoffs because, as they say, defense win championships. So
Yeah.
you have to be excited with where your team's at. I like the way my team's trending. I know the Jets hadn't won a game, but that's what makes them dangerous is that they have nothing to lose. They've lost all their other games, and so I expected some trick plays, everything. They moved the ball decently. They did have some missed field goals, but giving up 3 points anytime you can limit an offense to 3 points in this league, that's a big win for us. So I'm excited about where the defense has been trending on our side.
Yeah, no, I should have reached out to you before that because I made a 6-team parlay and I had the Jets plus 14 and a half. I'm like, Seahawks haven't won by 14 all year. It's not happening today. And I was like, they're right. They won by 30. So they lost that. That was gone. But so the Seahawks early in the year, they're the cream of the crop in the NFL, kind of falling off a little bit. I know the pass coverage wasn't too good. They did bring in a couple of names. You got Snacks Harrison. I really haven't heard him much. And they also got Carlos Dunlap. What do you think that's done for the defense?
Well, I mean, it's really bolstered their pass rush that wasn't there largely in the first half of the season. Dunlap, I couldn't believe that we were able to get him. As we were talking about, remember back when we talked earlier, I wanted your guy Ryan Kerrigan.
So, you can still have him. You can have him. I'll call Ron. I'll call Ron Rivera. We got to. He's leaving. He's leaving for nothing. He's leaving for nothing.
That's what I didn't understand. Why they didn't deal him somewhere and do right by him, right? And
that's what they said about Trent Williams. I said Bruce Allen's on something, but he was literally like, "Oh, we're gonna get a first-round pick, or he's gonna come back." No, you're not. You're gonna get a third, and he's gonna leave and make your team have to fire the entire medical staff because you misdiagnosed cancer. So So
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, but it would just be our luck that Kerrigan would have a hat trick this week, or 4 sacks. But looking forward to that pass rush. Chase Young is everything is advertised. That's really what we have to contend with this week. But our pass rush has picked up, I think, over 20 sacks since the acquisition of Dunlap. And even if a safety's leading us in sacks, who cares, right? Yeah. Jamal Adams has been all over the field. 8.5 sacks, broke the record for a DB rushing the passer. It's incredible.
He is 8.5 this year, and he's missed some time. Wow.
13 games in, he's got 8.5. I think he's missed at least 2.5 or 3 games.
That's incredible. Unreal. Yeah. When they made that trade, I'm like, what are the Jets doing?
I don't think so. I don't think they know what they're doing, man.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're getting 2 picks. Like, yeah, but you don't know who to take, and neither of them is going to be as good as him. So,
yeah, and I mean, just what he's added, to the defense in terms of that pressure, because we had to manufacture pressure. It wasn't going to come just from the front until we did get Dunlap and then some guys back healthy in the rotation. So, that's definitely going to be the storyline of the game. Turnovers, and then those two defenses getting after the passer.
You think that's going to be the storyline and not J.D. McKissick's revenge game?
Who? No, I'm just kidding. I love
He's
JD.
He's going to have 8 catches. He's going to have 8 catches for 13 yards. Come on.
JD, he is scary in the open space. I'm happy he did find a role in an offense because everywhere he'd gone, it's either, he's a wide receiver, no, he's a tailback. Well, he's, like that Chris Thompson that you guys had years ago, and then, maybe a Sproles type that can do both. And so I'm happy to see him find a role. JD's a great kid. I was there. I was coaching him when he was with the Hawks, and
cool.
This is the one time I don't want to see him, right? And this is when he will go off.
Do you think Seattle's preparing for both Alex Smith or Haskins? For Haskins, like, I don't really know how you prepare for him because the Washington doesn't know what he's going to do. And for Alex Smith, he's not mobile. He's average. I was looking at some of the stats earlier in terms of QBR. He's last in the league. He's got 4 touchdowns, 6 picks in 7 games. He's barely scratching 200 yards a game. So I feel like Washington plays not to lose, and that's what they're winning. But I feel like they play it safe and they don't try anything. And I think eventually that's going to be their downfall. Who do you think Seattle wants to see Haskins because they figured it's a walk in the park?
No, because he's got a live arm, and he's got talent, man. And it's just you don't know who's going to show up, right? That's kind of the problem. But I think the biggest thing that they don't want to see is a healthy Antonio Gibson. Because that guy's been a nightmare for everybody. And so we'll see how they want to play it. But yeah, I mean, look at the Redskins. They've played, like you said, not to lose, but very conservative, because look at how good that defense. It's very hard. What do they have? The 4th ranked defense?
I think the secondary, the numbers are deceiving because most of the time they're coming back in games and the other opposing teams are just running the ball. The front 4 is fantastic. The linebackers have been fine. The corners have been all right. And Cameron Curl, as safety, has been unbelievable. 7th rounder from Arkansas. So
so I think they're up there like 4th or 5th. Because I've been doing a lot of DC radio lately, and I've been told about how good that defense is, and that's incredible. When they've got the 30th ranked offense or whatever it is, like to stay up there in rankings. So credit to Ron and what he's been doing. He's always had a strong defense everywhere he's went. Chicago. Carolina, and then now, over in DC. But, so I don't know. It's really not about which quarterback plays. It's really, is that running game going? Because as we saw, we have a stout run defense, but the Giants did find some, some holes to exploit when we played them.
What the hell happened in that game? What?
Man, an atrocious third quarter. Just everything went New York's way in terms of, I think they got a turnover in the 3rd, but they creased us on it. We were bringing a pressure, and I mean, the defense was playing lights out every quarter but the 3rd quarter. I mean, it was 5-0 at halftime. Not a fun game to watch for the average fan, but as a defensive guy, I loved it. I loved every second of it. And then, you get to that 3rd quarter, we bring a pressure and they run opposite the pressure. So they crease us, and we're 2 men short on that side of the run. So it parted, wide open, and Gallman waltzes down the street for 60 yards. Phenomenal play by Brooks to catch up and make the tackle. And then they had another 2 20+ yard runs, I think, in the next drive. And they threw a short touchdown pass to cap that off. That was all they needed, because we couldn't generate anything on offense. And that was, it was that D line, that front 4 of New York that was just wreaking havoc. And that's really what has me, on edge going into no pun intended for this one.
Yeah. No, but I got a fun fact about Colt McCoy for you. Next time you're doing a radio hit and I don't know who he's gonna be playing for. Have you ever heard about him and his milk?
No.
Okay, so he's from straight up Texas, like Texas, like Friday Night Lights, Texas. Apparently, he was raised and he drinks the milk straight from the teat of the cow, unpasteurized. It's bizarre. The doctors don't recommend it. The FDA doesn't recommend it, but he somehow beat Seattle, and I think that's one of the key factors. That's
what it was.
It's the milk. It's the milk. Apparently, when he was in DC, he had some sort of setup, and then I'm thinking, he's going to the Giants. Does he have a cow there? Because I know he's got one in Texas. I know he's got one in Virginia. I don't know if he has one. A cow, he's got it. Everybody's got his setup. I don't know where that is. So next time, if he's playing and somebody says, "Who's the biggest X factor?" You say, Colt McCoy. Wonder what kind of milk he's drinking. So you catch everybody off guard. No, but that was unbelievable. That's
what he has in his Gatorade bottle. That's what.
I hope not. I hope he empties out the Gatorade first, because that's even worse. No, it's unbelievable. And then for Washington, did you see this? Everybody knew the D-line was going to be okay, but did you see this 4-game? I don't think anybody said. Did you see the win over Pittsburgh coming, especially with Pittsburgh playing? And it was like less than a week and a half. It was 6 days after they played the Ravens.
Yeah. No, I didn't see that happening the way it did. I don't think anybody did.
No. Interesting. What's the in your career? Have you ever played 3 games in 12 days like Pittsburgh did?
I think they're the first to do it, right?
It might be.
Because normally it's what is it, 14? It's Sunday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday, Thursday. That's 13, right? Isn't it? I don't know.
I don't know. It's
yeah.
So do you think Seattle is still the team to beat in the NFC, or do you think it's Green Bay or New Orleans?
That's a tough one. It's impressive what Sean Payton's been doing, just the last 2 years without Drew Brees. And so when they get him back, those should be that much better because I think they're losing something keeping Taysom Hill. Even though he touches the ball every play, he's not getting to be the running back / receiver, and do everything and break out trick plays. So, they look really tough. I haven't gotten to watch enough Green Bay, but you got Aaron Rodgers, man. And you don't need a whole lot extra after that. So, I think the Saints have the better defense, though, don't they? So, I mean, that's when you get to this time. That's what I'm saying. That's what even makes Washington dangerous, is that they're so good at defense, and anything can happen. I mean, they didn't score a touchdown in the last game against San Fran.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
On defense and some field goals.
Yeah,
I mean, it's brutal, but I mean, imagine. I mean, San Fran's been playing some pretty decent ball. All things considered, all the injuries.
Yeah,
and Shanahan and Robert Saleh, they always have that team prepared to go out and compete. And I mean, they couldn't do anything on offense.
No, it's wild. I have a question. I know you're a USC guy. Is Ronald Jones USC?
You see it? Yeah, he is.
Did you see this coming in Tampa Bay? Because he's kind of like come out of nowhere. Remember after his first year, they're like, I don't know if he should have been a first round pick, and now he's tearing it up.
It takes some time for running backs. There's very few Adrian Petersons, Sean Alexanders, LaDainian Thomason that can just, they're drafted to be that guy. And then Ronald, I think he was a second or third, right?
Yeah.
So, he had to find his groove, and I think maybe the new offense, because he was of the previous draft, right?
I think so. I think this is his third year.
Yeah,
I want to say.
And this is Arian's second, right? Yeah. So it takes some time, and I've seen a lot of guys. Look at Alex Collins, who we had, back in 2016, I think. We kept him for a year, practice squad up and down, and then we just cut him. Goes to Baltimore, plays 10 games.
I used to see him at the bar. I used to see him at the bar in Towson.
Really?
Yeah, it was wild. He was there all the time.
But I mean, look at 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
So
where's he now? I saw he got picked up by somebody this year.
He was with us for the LA game. I think he's still with us. I think he's still, because it's weird with the COVID rules. There's like veterans on practice squad, and I don't know how it works, or but
yeah.
But it's it takes some time. That's a position, for whatever reason. There's very few that come in and just set it ablaze like Antonio Gibson's doing right now. I mean, it's a challenging position. There's a lot asked of a rookie running back in terms of picking up protections, and there's a lot of reasons some guys don't get playing time, is because he can run, but if the defense knows that we're only going to run when he's in there, we can stop that. So there's a lot more that goes into just running the ball to get on that field when you get to the NFL. And I mean, man, what drove me nuts in college was, in the first half, he'd have 9 carries for like 120 yards. He'd end the game with 10 carries, and we'd lose. And I was like, look, it's easy to sit and call that from the couch, but you get that sheet at halftime.
Yeah.
You get that sheet at halftime that says, this guy's averaging like 10, 11 carry. So that's what, me and my teammates definitely saw, my SC faithful definitely saw this coming. And we're happy for the kid. He's a great kid. He's a phenomenal athlete.
And I want to segue that into the Seahawks backfield, because it's been a question mark all year with injuries. Do you think they're finally past the bug, or do you think it's going to be an Achilles heel going forward?
Knock on wood right here.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, I think that's the storyline, is, as much as we love watching Russ cook, one of the main ingredients or recipes is a healthy Chris Carson. So if we'll go as far as he can carry us, and literally, and we need him healthy for the postseason, because that's really where we've had trouble in the last 2 years in the postseason. Is like, okay, well, no one respects our run game, so there's no need to add an extra defender in the box. There's no need to jump up or play a little tighter on play action. I'm not going to fall for that fake. I'm like, yo, good luck. Give it to that guy. But so that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. I hope both him and Hyde, because Hyde was hurt too.
Yeah.
So when you say it was a question mark, literally, we didn't know who our tailback was going to be half the year. And for the Hawks to still be 9-4 with everything in front of them, it's incredible.
And then I don't know if you saw the story a couple weeks ago with Marshawn was giving out turkeys in Hawaii. Apparently, I don't know if he announced it or if he just kind of showed up. And I hope he didn't announce it. And he was just kind of walking through traffic like, is that Marshawn Lynch? Yeah, he was a turkey. Apparently he's interested in potentially joining a contender. Do you think there's any chance he comes back to Seattle for the playoffs?
I mean, he came back last year. He hopped off the couch. There's no chance. There's no chance he prepared. That's why he's beast. That's why he's beast mode. Because at any second he could just say, all right, just give me the pads, give me a helmet. I know how to do this. And I mean, he carried like 4 defenders in that Philly game into the end zone when they had him stopped 5 yards short. So I wouldn't put it past him. And I mean, of course, that's what you want. You want the ring. He's got one. He wants another one. I would love to see him, reunite with the Hawks. And I know every Seahawks fan would. I mean, the place was going nuts for that. I went to that. I think it was a San Fran game, end of the year, and it was incredible. Man. It was electric.
Was that the one with the goal line stand?
It was. Yeah, unfortunately, it was. And there was a holding call not called on San Fran. But hey, we don't play for penalties, right?
Yeah. So what in terms of like the receivers? I think Metcalf. I put his over under this week in terms of yards at 130. I think Washington has his 4th best against the pass. It's a deceiving number. They've past couple of weeks. I know they give up over 100 yards to Brandon Ayuk, who's been on a tear, and yeah, I think he's had some insane. I think he's had almost 100 yards in the past 5 games. I think him, Tyreek Hill, and Adams are up there, which is incredible, especially with Mullins throwing. But do you think they're just going to lean on the pass in this game since Washington has a decent stout run defense?
No, I think you at least have to test that run defense and see if they're respecting us. And then, I think you air it out. But we got to get the ball out of Russ's hands quickly because every single one of these first rounders you guys got, is just a monster. But I want to ask you a question. I've never seen Terry McLaurin play, but every time I look at the stat sheet, your boy is up there. Yeah. And he's had a different quarterback almost every week. Is he? Yeah. This guy's like
he's the real deal. I actually wrote an article for the radio station I work at today comparing. I said, who would you rather have, Metcalf and McLaurin? And while Metcalf is the easy answer, the numbers are close.
The numbers, well, only until recently did Metcalf overtake him.
Yeah. Yeah. Metcalf's got him, I think, in touchdowns. I think McLaurin's got more targets and more catches. And I think Metcalf's also played in 2 more games. I think McLaurin missed some last year. But the numbers are almost identical. And it's McLaurin's 6'2", Metcalf's a machine. There's no way he's 23. I think he's like 30. But they'll figure that out. There's no chance. It's like when Juan Soto was killing it a couple of years ago. They're like, yeah, he's not 19. They're like, he is. But McLaurin's been great. And he's had, like you said, he's had 4 different quarterbacks. He's had what do you call it? Case Keenum. Then he went to Dwayne. Then he went to Kyle Allen, then he went to Alex Smith, and now we don't know who's going to, but I feel like those receivers that can make it happen. That's why I've always loved DeAndre Hopkins, because before he got Watson, he was making it happen with nobody. Not nobody, but he had Tom Savage. I'm like, it's Tom Savage, but like it's incredible. So do you think that's what Seattle's main target is locking him down this week and then kind of figuring the rest of the offense out?
I think so. I mean, I don't know if you got to bracket him or what, but it's a little alarming that the guys have 4 different quarterbacks. As you're saying, like Hopkins and all that stuff on Diggs. Guys have 4 different quarterbacks. He's only in his 2nd year. And I can't even, with all due respect, I can't even name another receiver, I don't think, on the Washington team.
Me neither.
So
I know him, but I don't want to bring him up.
But that's the whole point, is like, okay, this guy every week continues to show up and show out. Like, you would figure if there's nobody else we really need to focus on, he's getting doubled, shut him down, and there's nothing to worry about, but little else to worry about. At least with Metcalf, we got Tyler Lockett, who I don't think he gets enough credit for. Look at the one time he got volume in terms of throws. against the Cardinals.
What
15
it,
catches,
yeah,
200
yeah.
yards, 3 touchdowns, and he had 3 one-handed grabs in that game. And so, and then we got, a future Hall of Fame tight end Olsen, who should be back in a week.
You think he's? Did they rush him back, or is he good?
I don't know, man. That's an incredible turnaround from what it looked like. It looked like season over when he was leaving the field.
His foot, right?
Yeah, and he's had foot and ankle problems in the past, and that's the only thing. When he was getting signed, it was like, hey, can he stay healthy? Because the guy, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's an incredible talent and a great leader in that locker room. So, but what I'm saying with your boy McLaurin, he doesn't have all these other guys to take some attention off of him, which is, it's been more impressive, for me to hear, because I'm excited. I hope I don't see the Terry McLaurin that you guys see every week.
Yeah.
Because that would spell doom for us. But I am excited to see him, go to work, because his numbers, like I said, were better. Last year they were better than AJ Brown had more yards, but they were Metcalf and AJ Brown.
Yeah.
By the way, those two guys went to college. They were the number 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. And they didn't do too well, which in like AJ Brown with him, the one thing I've noticed with him, he gets nicked up a lot. That's probably just the style he plays, but
he plays rough, man.
Yeah. Now he's unbelievable. Because I remember last year it was like, oh, there's all these, there's Hollywood Brown and AJ Brown and Metcalf and McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, and now it's just all right. It's Metcalf, McLaurin, and AJ Brown, and then the rest. So
yeah, it really is. And then this is going off script, but that kid up in Minnesota, my God.
Oh well, yeah. Justin, he's unbelievable. I don't know what the Eagles were thinking. Like they've blown it twice. They could have had Metcalf last year. They took Arcega-Whiteside. I'm like, if you have to do. It's not a second round pick in my opinion, but he took him over Metcalf, and they took this guy. They took what's the kid from TCU, Rager, over Justin Jefferson. Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, okay. Obviously, hindsight's 2020.
I know.
But it's with Metcalf, just like AJ Brown. Metcalf missed quite a bit of college games, and that's why he dropped. And everybody had a chance at Metcalf. So I mean, I know they're kicking themselves for that one.
Yeah, now because I remember his combine numbers were insane. And I want to ask your opinion on Chase Young, based on what you've seen out of him. Who does his game remind you the most of?
Man, I've only seen highlights of him like scooping the ball one-handed and outrunning everybody for a touchdown. Haven't got to really. I watched him a lot at Ohio State. Was really impressed, but. Who could I say with that size and speed? I don't know. Maybe Javon Curse, with more size and strength and power. Because Javon Curse, the freak. I mean, that guy was unbelievable. Yeah. And I think I don't hear his name come up a lot, lately. No. But I mean, that guy was unbelievable and just a specimen. And I mean, because I know probably Clowney gets the biggest comparison.
Yeah.
But I think Chase Young's maybe a little more smoother of an athlete, than Clowney, and that's saying a lot because Clowney's an absolute monster. So I don't know. Who do you got?
Somebody on the EC radio said today, they said Chase Young is exactly what we thought Clowney was going to be.
Oh.
And I've heard that. I've heard people mirror him to Julius Peppers.
Okay, that would be probably.
Yeah. He
seems quicker though than
Pep.
I don't know if he's as strong as Pep.
No.
But
I don't think he's big either. I think he's about 6'4", 6'4", 5.5, maybe. Yeah, but
that's like 6'6", 280.
Yeah.
And he can move.
So what's your so in terms of the rest of the NFC West, do you think the Rams are the real deal? I don't.
I don't know. They got that defense, and that's their defense has played well, in spite of their offensive troubles over the season. But you know what's scary is they're finding their footing in the run game with Cam Akers, and that's like, I was hoping they wouldn't use him until next year because I was like, God, they got this, and I love Darrell Henderson, and he could take it to the house from anywhere on the field. He's got that home run speed.
Yeah.
But that every down, just run it down your throat here, to try to stop us. If you get that guy, which is Cam Akers, and I think the Rams finally figured that out. I was just hoping it wasn't going to be until next year they figured that out. It's a lot to deal with. And again, now you're going to see, Goff have more time because they got the receivers and Woods and Kupp, Higbee at tight end. So they have a full arsenal. But if you can't get that run game going, it's tough, but they do have that defense to lean on. So are they the real deal? I still think we win the division. They got to come see us. So that's where we'll get it settled. And then we still have to take on the Niners too, who, there's always a battle with them for some reason.
Which of the two teams in the division do you think is more confident of the future of their quarterback between the Niners and the Rams?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I think the two worst contracts in the NFL, the two contracts the teams regret the most, are in that division.
Yeah, I mean,
and then Wentz, but I think Wentz will get it figured out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna let you take this one. Which one? Which situation's harder? I think Goff's harder to move on from because, I mean, of course they both went to a Super Bowl, right? Yeah. I get that. How much of it was the defense because they both had a great defense? I think Goff contributed a little more. Now I don't have all the stats to prove that, and obviously they didn't do much in the Super Bowl. Whereas Jimmy G was one throw away, man.
Yeah.
But so it's two contracts or situations that they have to figure out what to do because if that's not the answer, you don't want to lose the quality years of Aaron Donald and defense to that. So what about Wentz? What do you think happens there?
I have a couple of predictions of what's going on with him. One is I feel like as a competitor, seeing Nick Foles win a Super Bowl, as much as you want to celebrate your team, it's killing him that he wasn't out there. I also think he messed up his spine, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, you're good." That doesn't really sound like a medical opinion to me. And three is I think them drafting Hurts just completely threw him off.
Yeah, I mean, egos. I'm not going to say there's no egos, but I mean they play a role, especially like you never want to have, or at least what it seems, you want competition all over that field except the quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it's seemed like ever since I played. And then, any team I've, been on or coached is like, hey, well, that's our guy. And, I don't know why that position gets treated differently because if it's best man for the job, then it's going to make us better as a team. So, but I think he reunites with Reich in Indy.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, it's when he's played his best ball.
Yeah.
And, they need a quarterback. I still believe in Jacoby Brissett. I'm guessing Rivers is gone. I'm guessing.
He's like 83 and he's got 15 kids. So I said it. I don't know if I told you this is my idea what they could do in a couple of years for a Thanksgiving event before the Lions lose. You get Rivers and Antonio Cromartie and their families and play 11-on-11 flag. They both have enough. They both have 9 kids.
They have a full squad? Wow.
They both full squad. Mic them up. Phil Rivers won't curse. Cromartie will probably curse. And just have it go on it. I think it'd be fantastic. And people would be like, wait, the Lions game's coming on next? I just want to watch this for another hour.
It'd be good for ratings, just like where boxing's going lately, right?
Yeah, it's wild. And then I want to ask you about the Cardinals. Do you think they're going to kind of like people are sleeping on them now, or do you think people are counting them out?
No, I think they've had some rough games, but I think I said it before the season because of the new format of the playoffs, the extra team. I said 3 teams make it, and I had us, the Rams, and the Cardinals. Cardinals were actually the team I was most worried about.
Interesting.
And we all get injuries, but they lost an MVP caliber candidate in Chandler Jones early in the season, and they've kind of figured it out. I have to go back and watch what happened last game because Hassan Reddick had 5 sacks. 5.
That's franchise record. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, now this is a guy that they had high hopes for in the first round, and then they haven't figured out where to play him. But I'm guessing whether they were blitzing him or they had him, like Jamal Adams, or they had him on the line doing his thing. That's some serious production. He matched his total output for the first half of the first 12 games of the season. He had 10 sacks. He's got 10 sacks now.
That's incredible.
And so, because, that's the thing, they've drafted linebackers early last couple of years and haven't known where to play them. The kid from Clemson, Isaiah.
What do you think of him? I was going to ask you about him. What do you think of him?
Freak of nature. I mean, he looks like you want him to look, runs like you want them to run, like just incredible athlete. But what I saw from Clemson, I mean, he was playing like a safety half the time. So I was like, okay, well, where is his natural home going to be? And that's really what I think they struggled with, placing Hassan Riddick. And now I think, because when you draft a guy that high, you want him to play right away. Yeah. And he's had trouble finding the field, but he's come on recently.
Yeah.
And I mean, he makes a flash play every game. So it's exciting to watch, because he was a big time playmaker in college. And I think he's going to go on to do great things. He just got to find a home. What does he do best? And let him do it.
Yeah.
And that's what they do with Reddick.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong. I remember when they had Honey Badger, they couldn't really figure out where to use him either. Right. And then they eventually just moved on from him.
Yeah. And I mean, he had some amazing, they were like, is he a corner? I mean, we know he can play slot.
Yeah.
Is he a full-time safety because he is a little small? I mean, that guy is just one of the best football players I've ever seen. I've always had fun watching that guy play football.
Unfortunately, I had a prop bet on him in the Super Bowl to get a pick, and of course, it was the two Washington corners that got picked, so that didn't work. My betting history is I don't bet much, but I don't win. So yeah, that's why I don't bet much. And then, so who do you think is so we're got 3 weeks left in the season. Who do you think is this year's Titans? Because someone's going to come out of nowhere, and I don't know who it's going to be.
After watching the Giants play that game against us, I thought it was them. I thought, you know what? They finally realized that they can run the ball, and because we have a good run defense, we really do. It's not, numbers are a little deceiving because of the passing and people always having to play from behind in the early on in the season, but we're pretty stout against the run. And I thought they figured that out. I'm not sure. Let me think. Who do you got right now? We talking NFC or
nobody's talking about Tampa anymore, and I feel like that's a team that could. With so high expectations for them, and then they've had a couple embarrassing losses, and then we just kind of counted them out. That's one of them. AFC, the Colts have been kind of streaking a little bit.
Yeah, they've been up and down.
Yeah,
they either blow a team out or lose real close. It's like,
and then Jonathan Taylor's been on a tear as of late. Yeah. Like Pittman, one of your guys. Okay,
so I still think. The Browns, man, do
you think they have enough with no Beckham? Do you think they have enough to win playoff games?
What do you mean with no what?
With Beckham's done. I feel like, I don't know if with Baker, Jarvis.
Honestly, the chemistry's gotten better. That's no disrespect to one of the greatest receivers we've seen in a long time. It's the chemistry, and that's what it's all about. And I think maybe Baker doesn't feel pressure to force the ball to him, and let's get serious. I didn't think adding him was going to really benefit them. I know it's a mismatch. Okay, you got Landry and him. You can't double both. But Nick Chubb averages 5.5 yards a carry, and Kareem Hunt is no joke. So I don't understand. If you just handed it off every play, I guarantee you those couple of losses are wins. And look, I'm a Baker fan. I'm an advocate of Baker Mayfield. I said it when he left Oklahoma. I was like, I just believe in this kid because he's tough.
Yeah.
Walk on, transferred, won the Heisman. He's everywhere he's gone, he's earned it. And so that's why he has my respect as a competitor. And I think they probably put a little too much on his shoulders early on. We're going to throw it 40 times. And I know he did that in college. This ain't college anymore. No. And so now giving him that run game to lean on, and he played hard in this last game too. And if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson,
cramps.
Man, have you seen anybody else casually stroll onto the field for the biggest moment, 4th and 5, run to the side? This is where I was most impressed. He runs for at least 10, 15 yards. He makes somebody miss. That's a first down. And almost everybody takes that. They're like, sure thing. I got this. I got the first down. Yeah. He saw his guy open and he said, I'm going for it. And that's where I was just like, man, to be in that moment and not take the sure thing, to continue the drive and win. Shoot or shoot, man. He took his shot, and that's why he's the reigning MVP. But he made it look so easy.
Yeah.
4th and 5. Game's over.
I think they should make the 2-minute warning like 10 minutes longer, that all the guys get bathroom breaks, and then we'll just get the greatest 2 minutes of football we've seen in a long time. Because we saw it from him. He was ready. So what did he say after the game? Oh, I didn't pull up Paul Pierce. Like, we saw you running in. Come on.
Oh man, that kills me. That kills me as a Boston fan too.
I know. Yeah. Anytime you see Paul Pierce trending, I'm like something's not going to be good.
He didn't pull up Paul Pierce because he didn't win the championship.
That's true.
He beat the Browns.
I know. Yeah. I remember somebody kept saying, like, imagine if they had to go for 2. No, but it's incredible. It's wild. And then so final prediction: Washington, Seattle, Sunday. What's it? 1 o'clock, or is it 4 o'clock or 1 o'clock Eastern?
Yeah, 10 o'clock over here.
Damn. I have a question. I have a question. Is that I've always thought about that. Is the West Coast football, is it kind of a drag? Kind of have to do what you have to do and then getting running at 10, or is it awesome? Like I can kind of sleep in and then football's on.
Oh no, I love it. The West Coast, like when I wake up, football. That's
perfect. I gotta wait here. I gotta wait.
Yeah, I know, right? You guys wait till 1 o'clock because I grew up on the East Coast.
Yeah,
and so I love it. And then in Hawaii, when I was a kid, and we used to go back there, it would be on at like 6 a.m.
That's brutal.
And back then that was when I was like excited to get up, like just like eyes wide open, turn the TV on and watch college football.
That's wild. Now, because I know like West Coast people, like when they were watching Sunday Night Football, like what time's it over by over there? Like 9?
8:30? 9?
You don't feel like a piece of shit after. Because you're like, oh, it's just 9. Here, it's 12 o'clock, and then it's Monday morning.
I got work in a couple hours.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, like, bye-bye Chris Collinsworth. I got to go to bed. Like, it's crazy. It's wild. Now, yeah, so do you think Seattle gets the W, or do you think Washington makes it close?
Oh, I think it's going to be a close game. But, yeah, I think the Hawks pull this one out. It's just it's a matter of Chris Carson, man. How much can we rely on him? Because it's a totally different offense with him in it. I mean, you have to respect the run. You have to commit the safety, 8 men into the box and stop that run, or else, you're in for a long day. And so I got the Hawks winning this one. I think it's going to be close, just because of how good that defense is over there. But, I got the Hawks on.
So regardless of Smith or Haskins play, you still think it's close?
Yeah, I think the only question is if Gibson can get in the lineup, then I think it's like,
they actually signed Lamar Miller.
Yeah, but he's on the COVID list. Can't play yet.
Right. Maybe they give him Peyton Barber's jersey, and maybe nobody will notice. Get the helmet on. We'll figure it out. But I don't know, because if they're a game ahead of the Giants right now, and if they lose and the Giants win, hopefully they win. I don't know. We'll see. Honestly, because at the beginning of the season, I'm like, all right, I want them to lose as much as possible because we need a quarterback. And now they started winning. I'm like, all right, if they're going to win, they better make the playoffs. They better make the playoffs. But if they keep winning and then they come up short, I'm like, what was the point? So we'll see. We'll see. But this has been awesome. How can people follow you on social media and keep up with you?
Yeah, I'm mainly on Instagram. So Lofa _Tatupu, that's my handle. And then Zone In CBD, that's my company. And also on the Believe podcast network, the Believe in Seahawks, host that with Brett Davern. So got a lot of things going on top of being a 4th grade math teacher because we're homeschooling. And but yeah, man, having fun, and I appreciate you having me on, Zach.
Absolutely. Where can I get one of those cool hats I saw you wearing? You guys sell those?
Which hat?
I saw with the little logo on it. Those are dope.
You guys? Give me the address, man. I'll send you.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll rep it. He's like a little campus rep over here.